Good Dr.
Hey
Mike, not
folks,
that one.
Dr. Mike here for Renaissance Periodization. And today's
What the fuck? This guy, this guy's a doctor? What is he, the doctor of gains? What the fuck? Does he have a doctorate in being
video,
brolic?
I'm going to weigh in on a bit of a fitness controversy that's kind of happening. And
Bro, I've never seen a doctor that's, dude, if this guy was my doctor, I'm trusting anything he gives me, okay? I love this guy immediately. Holy fuck, dude. He punches the tumors. He literally has a doctorate in being brolic. Bro, this is the most thumb-like doctor I've ever seen. He looks like he got a doctorate in criminology, okay? He looks like he could walk into a precinct and immediately all the cops would be like, "Oh, sir, you're the chief of police, right? Thank you for coming to the precinct today." I love him. I immediately love him. This guy's awesome. I don't know who this guy is, but I fucking love him.
in the social media space, and that is weight loss drugs versus lifestyle choices. And I think this is a false controversy. I think it is a false dichotomy, and I'll be very clear about this in 9 points.
Dr. Mike is right-wing as fuck. I don't give a shit, dude. You know me. Listen, I've told you this so many times, okay? I don't care I do not care what people's like personal ideology or background is. If someone has done that to their body, I respect it. I know how much time that takes, okay?
Let's get to the point. So here's the thing to set this up. There is a new generation of weight loss drugs out on the market, FDA approved, and more people are using them. They are GLP-1 and GIP agonists. These are gut hormone, gut peptides. And these drugs, the most famous of which is the first really effective one, is known as...
The irony of this is that like all the fucking crystal mommies were so right about the gut shit. Like, I mean, I guess it's like, it goes beyond that, but you know what I mean? Like all the holistic mommies that always are talking about like, oh, I'm fixing my gut biomes or whatever the fuck they talk about. Now, obviously, they're not right because they're like drinking their own piss or whatever, which isn't doing shit. But like, they're not wrong when they say this is important.
Ozempic, aka semaglutide. There's also tirzepatide, and it's coming out with all kinds of new drugs on the horizon. And what these drugs do is they do a few things. They're actually very good for your health in general, and seemingly from all the research we have and all the inference from what pathways they activate and how. But their biggest thing is, so small stuff is they improve insulin sensitivity and all this other stuff. But their big, major beneficial effect is that they absolutely crush appetite. Now, to be more technically correct, they have a very powerful dose-dependent effect on appetite. So if you take very little amount of the drug, you get a slight reduction in appetite. Well, that's okay, whatever. If you take much more of the drugs, you can take enough of the drugs in a safe and healthy manner. This has been tested over and over on large groups of people. Even huge doses of the drug, relative to how much they crush hunger, are totally safe. And that's the thing, is when I say huge doses, it's a very small amount of actual stuff, and it can make your appetite basically just go away. We don't want appetites to go away because we still want people eating food, but as you can imagine, if we titrate the drug appropriately in a particular patient that's taking it, we can kind of set their hunger levels at, anything we want. So if you're...
Yeah, this shit's fire because ultimately, again, the fat shamers, when they say just stop eating forehead, are technically not incorrect because that is the way you lose weight, okay? Like, you lose weight by eating less than your body fucking, needs, I guess. You eat at a deficit and then you end up losing weight. That's just how it works, okay? So this technically just shuts off that fucking part of your brain that is responding to your, gut biome or your gut, I guess, that says like, I'm hungry. I need to eat, please. I need to eat real bad. I need to eat more.
Your normal hunger level has you consuming 4,000 calories a day, and thus you're overweight and in bad shape. We can give you just enough drug to get you down to 2,000 or 2,500 calories.
Doesn't this make them 100% right? No, just like the holistic mommies, they're 100% wrong, even though the technicality behind it is correct. It's just saying to a fat person, just stop eating, fatty, is demonstrably bad, okay? It has the reverse impact, okay? That's why it's wrong. Like, they're right that, like, technically it's calories in, calories out. They're wrong when they constantly fucking are fat shaming and saying, just stop eating, just stop snacking, because that part is so fucking difficult and they will never understand it because they've been skinny their whole lives until they hit like a wall.
Calories, and over a long time, you will lose lots of weight and then just stay there. If you continue to take the drug, it seems that the negative feedback loops from the research we've seen so far are minimal, if non-existent, perhaps. So thus, if you continue to take, let's say, a milligram of Ozempic every week, you get that same milligram of effect every week for a year and a half at least. There are other drugs that do this in a different category of drugs altogether. Modafinil, for example, is maybe the first neurologically enhancing drug, you could say, the first smart drug.
What? Yo, what? Isn't this guy a doctor? What the fuck's he talking about? Modafinil? No. Hello? Bro, no. That's crazy. Is he like a kratom guy too? He has a PhD in sports physiology. Oh. But still. Doctors don't know as much as pharmacists when it comes to drugs. Modafinil is narcolepsy medication. It is what pilots use sometimes. He is a doctorate in gains. I wasn't wrong, by the way. That's weird. But people basically make it seem like modafinil goes hard. That shit would make me see shit while being wired at JJAEP. Shit was wild, dog. I don't know. When I hear someone just like drop modafinil like that, I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Ever to some extent. It's used mostly to keep people awake for various things, but it also seems to be a cognitive enhancer. Modafinil doesn't seem to have a negative feedback loop. You just take it, you get the same effects. You take it one day, take the first time you take it, and the 500th time you take it, it gives you the same identical effects, which is really cool. So these drugs are really neat in that they do this. Now, more and more people have been taking them, and some people in the fitness industry have brought up what they think is a problem. And they basically saying, if you give people this drug, it takes the onus off of them changing their fitness and health habits. For example, their propensity to make better food choices, and you're just masking the problem. It's like drugging away the underlying problem, right? And
yeah, I mean, but you can use drugs like Ozempic, or you can use drugs like even Adderall, Ritalin, Concerta, Vyvanse, and things like that to fix portion control and make better health choices, especially if you train your body to eat a certain way. That's it. That's just, but a lot of people, unfortunately, when they get off of the drug, then go bananas mode and eat like crazy. He isn't saying no side effects. He said no tolerance develops. That's kind of crazy.
There is a lot to say about that. There's a lot to say about that. And I'll kind of put forward my thesis in 9 separate points. And please let me know in the comments what you guys think. And if you find the points contentious, please let me know on what inferential or evidentiary grounds you find them contentious. And we'll get to chatting in the comments about who's marginally more correct or incorrect. All right, so here we go. So point number 1, it is absolutely true, I do agree, that the drugs do not get you directly to eat healthier. They definitely get you to eat less, but eating healthy is still something people should try to do, and something we should, in the fitness industry, advocate for our clients and our followers and et cetera to do as well. Okay, so yes, absolutely, I don't agree with just taking a pill and saying, hey, look, the pill solved it all, because the pill didn't solve it all. Now, what did the pill solve? There's actually 2 situations here, 2 issues, 2 problems, not one. One problem is people eat too much, and 2 is people eat also unhealthy. So there's the amount of food they eat, and then what it is that composes that food. Two separate problems. They're interrelated problems, but nonetheless, they can be bifurcated into two separate problems. And modern weight loss drugs, and in the future more and more effectively and for less money, have essentially knocked out problem number one. Like, how much you eat is a pharmacologically now solved problem, which is crazy to say. I can't believe it's 2020. I guess I can believe it's 2023 and I'm saying this. We live in the straight up future, but like, that's a big deal. Like, that's nothing we've been ever able to say.
I think he's not wrong. I mean, it is the reason why they're like selling this as a miracle drug is because like it has, as far as I understand, less side effects, like less negative side effects than the other amphetamines like that I just mentioned to you. And therefore it's just like directly tackling the problem of appetite, which is directly linked to weight gain and weight loss. Animal studies have shown that it can cause thyroid cancer in like very, very limited. I mean, it's like rare. It's super rare. It will become probably more common as people are mass using this drug now because doctors are prescribing the shit out of this. Okay, maybe it's anecdotal, maybe it's Los Angeles, but I'm gonna tell you, doctors certainly are fucking prescribing the shit out of this. Our obsession with skinniness is such a disease. No, I don't agree with that. I mean, I'm saying that as someone who has body dysmorphia and is obsessed with being skinny. I think that if we have a drug that could truly limit a lot of people's appetite, that would eliminate a dramatic amount of secondary problems caused by obesity. Okay? Not necessarily a bad thing at all. As long as people are basically being taught, on top of everything else, portion control and making better and healthier dietary choices that they can take with them for the rest of their lives, that they can continue for the rest of their lives, okay? It's not even about being skinny. It's about being fucking healthy. And the reality is, no matter how much we talk about fat shaming, and I have talked about this a lot, about how negative fat shaming is, how stupid fat shaming is, and body positivity overall is not a bad thing unless you're like using it to fucking, sell Oreos because you're working for Mondelez International secretly as a PR spokesperson. It's greatly important. Very important. Yeah, it's called fiber. Yeah, totally, dude. It's just fiber. Just eat fiber, forehead. You'll shit out 4,000 calories when you are supposed to be eating like 2,500.
In the weight loss and obesity space. Okay, so like, they give you it as long as you respond well to the drug, which almost everyone does, especially if the doctor titrates it and you are honest about your responses. Most people can take the drug and just get about to the level of hunger that they want. Okay, it's a very similar effect to blood pressure drugs. As far as the landscape of effects, like, doesn't matter what kind of blood pressure you have, you can take a small amount of blood pressure drugs and a moderate amount of blood pressure drugs, especially combined therapy, will absolutely get your blood pressure as low as you want.
I assume a lot of people taking this do not have weight health problems, especially in LA, Lamont. No, we're talking about America, man. Maybe not in Los Angeles, but like in the United States of America, the people taking it definitely do have weight and health problems. Come on.
Want, even low enough to kill you. Okay. And the same thing actually for boner pills. Like, if your penis is medically capable of getting blood to it, boner pills absolutely will get you an erection. Okay. It's just actually something I read several years ago. I was doing a little research. You know what I'm saying? Boy, everybody could use a little enhancement. You feel me, for those whiskey nights. And it's literally a sentence like by
this guy, what the fuck kind of doctor is this guy? He's like, yeah, sometimes my dick don't work when I'm drinking whiskey, so I take Viagra. What the fuck?
Some, accredited body that was like erectile dysfunction.
Bro, this is my doctor. I'm about to get the gains of a lifetime, though. I still love him immediately.
Is a pharmacologically solved problem. Anyone healthy enough to be having sex can absolutely get an erection. I was like, holy shit, I didn't know they were that strong. Then, a quarter of a Viagra tab. And I'm like, holy shit, do I have to go to the hospital after this? Yes. But just kidding. But, some close calls there. Sooner or later.
Okay.
If you imagine.
They don't get you to eat healthier. It's correct. Point 3, point 2 is they don't get you to eat healthier. Point 3 is they don't get you to eat healthier. They don't address the fundamental problem. People become emboldened by Weight loss, willpower, the problem space. What is this? The most replayed part. Let's look at that, and then we'll move on from this.
Nietzsche or whoever the fuck said that shit. Now Jordan Peterson, I guess. I'm not interested in a fucking SJW world where everyone's a fucking pussy and nobody ever has adversity and they're like, oh my God, man, my feelings. 100%. I feel you guys on that. There is no fucking shortage of adversity. And if you motherfuckers feel like you have too few problems.
Bro, this went on a, wait, what? At the 24-minute mark, he just goes, yeah, fuck SJWs. What? That's awesome. Why? What? What is happening? Why is this? What?
Because you take enough drugs and all your problems are gone up. I don't have to worry about what I eat anymore. And I'm super healthy and I'm live till 100. Go solve other problems. Go to the inner city and help clean the streets. Do whatever. Take care of your kids better. There's always more problems. And again, if you're really worried that we'll run out of problems eventually, tell yourself that in your head one more time. Your concern, I don't even mock anybody, I'm just getting passionate, is that we're going to run out of problems? Oh my fucking God. Can you imagine? You just have no problems. That means you have a genie, essentially, that grants you every wish you could have. Pray to fucking God that we get there eventually. And if this Ozempic and that class of drugs is one tiny step of the way there, I'm 100% in, right? Here's the thing. Point number 9. To that effect, it is probably a good idea to work to make everything easier or completely solved. Then we can go solve the next thing and the next thing and the next thing.
Yeah. Oh, he was responding to those guys who are saying that kind of shit. No, he's saying it's a good thing overall. He's saying he's right. I mean, it doesn't, this is not like a miracle drug in the way that like it automatically solves the actual issue, which you still have to work on. It suppresses your appetite, so it makes it easier for you to combat like binge eating disorder, any kind of like eating problems that you have, and you can regulate your intake a lot better. It's a good thing. It doesn't fully solve the problem. And when you actually don't fucking, when you get off the drug due to shortages or whatever the fuck, which can happen, and it has happened, you will then yo-yo diet because you didn't actually, fix the underlying the underlying issue. You did not fix your diet. You just took a supplement that made it easier for you to not eat. That's it. So, he said, I agree with the anti-SJW shit though, Hasan. I mean, yeah, that part is fine. But he's still saying ultimately that, adversity and adversity is important for character development, but it doesn't matter. It's still better to like fix these issues, and so we can move on to other
because
shit.
You have a car that means you don't know how to stable and train and take care of a horse, but instead you could have a job that trains large language models to solve every other fucking problem we have.
He's right.
It's a matter of perspective, and it's a matter of understanding that just because you get rid of one challenge doesn't mean that you are now soft pussy who's never going to get challenged and is going to wither away and just spend more time in mom's basement.
I like this.
So you could always do that, but you could have always done that. We've had a standard of living since the 1950s in the United States where pretty much everyone could get their food and basic medical care and a place to live on minimum work per week. And so like anything you do now is bonus points anyway. So if now you have less of a problem of people having hunger, don't you worry. Yes, that problem is no longer an instrument by which people can improve themselves. It is not an instrument on which they can flex and make their willpower better because it doesn't exist anymore. You just take the drug and you're fucking done. Lots of problems left over for us to fucking get into and try to solve and really improve our willpower and our internal value as people. Because a big part of having self-actualization and being really at peace with yourself is being able to work on making yourself better and regularly challenging yourself. And again, we have a shitload of problems left over. Bucking, world hunger, world peace, all that shit, mortality, aging.
So this guy supports universal income and houses for all homeless people, right? I'm not kidding. He strikes me as the type of dude who would. Like, I think you're hyper focused on the aesthetics. Like, I don't think he's like the average like David Goggins type dude. I don't think he's like the average David Goggins type dude who's like, no, actually, we can't give houses to the homeless. Yeah, he said he's a libertarian. You're coping. But he just said, like, it's okay to fix some of these fucking issues so, like, you can focus on other things. Like, for example, when we have, with the invention of the internal combustion engine, We no longer have needs for fucking horses, but now we can like work on other shit like language models. Okay, he's anti-SJW, which like is the normative position. I'm sorry. Okay, so when you hear that from a guy that looks like that, you immediately assume he's like super reactionary. But I doubt it. I don't. I think he's like he might have been like a hyper libertarian guy back in the day, but I don't think a hyper libertarian guy would turn around and fucking be like, no, it's actually good to solve these issues instead of like forcing people to fend for themselves.
Could be solving aging in the next 20 years. Think about that. I'd rather people spend time solving aging than spend time looking at macros and being like, shit, I'm eating too much, I'm fat. Anyway, how's that for a rant? All right, guys, thank you so much. See you.
I don't know, whatever. I believe in UBI. I agree with the thumb. He would be talking about big pharma if he was like that. What? He also said that people can get housing and food and a good quality of life with a small wage, though. Yeah, I mean, he's wrong on that. I think he was comparing it to like the 50s, which is ironic because like in the 50s, it was probably more manageable for white people, especially, to be able to get houses and you know, have a comfortable existence. Anyway, whatever. It's crazy how people fall into the right-wing pipeline. This dude seems so reasonable and regular at the beginning, and then blam out of nowhere, just a crazy tangent. I don't know. I would like to explore more about his worldview and develop a better understanding of where he's coming from. But I don't think he's like necessarily a bad person from what I got.